So today we're going to be making masks. I chose this fabric. You can choose whatever fabric you want, but this is just the mask that my mom wanted made for her. So this is what I went with. And I got the templates for this off of Google. You can easily find it on Google. And for the inside, I'm going to use black. And I just take my template and basically I'll pin it down. I usually fold my fabric in half and you'll see why. So you can have two cut out pieces of fabric to your mask. So now basically what you'll want to do is put your two pieces of fabric together, and you want to make sure that the right side is facing each other. So it should look inside out, but because I'm doing black, it really doesn't matter. Now you want to do the same thing with your outside fabric. You want to make sure the right side is facing in, and I just pin it to keep its place so you don't have to keep fixing it. So now we're going to start sewing, and you want to sew around the rounded edge only. And you're going to sew around the perimeter, and I go over it twice just to make sure that it's durable, because you know people are going to probably be wearing it for a long time, or you'll probably be wearing it for a long time. You just want to make sure that you're able to wash it or wear it as many times as you want without it falling apart. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with your smaller fabric around the rounded side only, and I'm going to go over it twice. And the stitching doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because it's going to be flipped inside out anyway, but you want to kind of get it as best as you can. Now you want to make sure that the correct sides are facing in towards each other. And you want to make sure that they're lined up as close as possible to match up. Then of course I start putting my pins around to keep my place and make sure it stays lined up how it should be. I pin around the bottom and around the top, but not on the sides. You'll see what I mean. Then we're gonna start sewing. So starting on the bottom half, of course you can start on whatever side you prefer, but this is just how I do it. Now we're gonna do the other side, the top half. Now, do you see what I mean when I say you only sew the top and the bottom and not the sides? Because you want to be able to flip it inside out. Now, usually if I'm selling the mask, I'll either heat press it or iron it just to make sure it's like as crisp as possible, but it's fine either way. So now I take my elastic, and I have 2 long pieces. I'll usually cut them in half because I mean they stretch, so you don't need to use that much elastic, especially because there's a shortage in elastic right now, so we want to save as much as possible, sweetheart. Now what I'm doing is laying the elastic on the flap that's on the outside. If you can see, you just lay it down and you'll fold the excess fabric over it. Now you can leave a little filter pocket in it, but I chose to seal it shut this time. If you guys want a video on me making a mask with a filter pocket, just let me know. So I ended up folding it twice because it just felt more snug to do it that way, but it's your preference. And now we're just going to sew over, but make sure you don't sew onto the elastic. Make sure that the elastic is all the way tucked in. Now I just take the 2 ends of the elastic and I tie them in a tight knot, and I will twist the elastic around to hide the knot on the inside. Sometimes I clip the ends of the elastic just so it can fit better, but I'll twist it so the knot can be hidden inside the mask instead of outside. And now we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And that is it, folks. That's the mask. So let me know if this video was helpful at all or easy to follow along with. Maybe I'll be able to do a different tutorial on a different style mask. And I'll see you guys in the next video.